Hi folks, this is the last part of the video here about the Celtic Works motor compartment. I've already done the painting, and what's left to do is some of the weathering on the compartment, and I'll be using some of the MIG production products. And I'm not going to go all out weathering it, just some basic oil spillage, the rust, and maybe a light dusting. That's about it. I mean, you can do much more if you want. I'm going to keep it pretty basic and simple, and the effects are pretty good. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, next step is a pin wash. I've mixed up some of the Winsor Newton Van Dyke Brown along with the dark brown MIG paint, oil paints, not pigments, sorry. Basically what I'm going to do is just give it a pin wash to bring out some of the details. If you give it a regular dark wash, what you'll do is darken the base color, and basically everything you did before is gone. I prefer pin washes with oil paints, of course. You can use whatever you want. I mean, just like with the filters, you can use the MIG Production Sin products, the filters and wash effects, whatnot. I use what I have available. I don't have the Sin at the moment, and plus I'm used to using my oil paints. Basically want to get in all the nooks and crannies. The excess you can remove with a damp brush. I'm sure everyone is quite familiar on how to do a pin wash by now. I like to give it a nice light, what I call a light pin wash, but I repeat the process. I don't like to go too heavy at once. I tend to remove most of the pin wash with a damp brush and then continually apply more and more until I'm happy with the effects. It's all personal taste. Just to give you an idea of how you can paint this resin set. I'm sure some people aren't too familiar with filters and pin washes and whatnot. We'll still be picking out some of the details later on with more paint. Okay, next step is to liven up the rust colors a little bit. What I'm going to be using is some MIG Production Old Rust pigments and standard rust effects. I've got some of my palette here. Basically what you want to do is go over where you already have your rusty areas, and this will just liven it up a bit. I'll give it a nice dead flat finish and a little bit of texture, and it'll also help in staining the surrounding paint, which you see quite often on rusty parts. Basically using it kind of like a pin wash in some areas. Okay, one of the next things to do is to liven up those rust streaks with some light rust effects from MIG Productions. Get some on my palette. Basically just going to put it where fresh rust occurs. Basically where it would get wet and streak down. Can also brighten up some of the other colors. It's also good for staining, creating rust stains. Got some around those bolts there. Put some right there. Basically wherever water would accumulate or where it would drag fresh rust down. Okay, we already have the rusting part done, the pin washers and filters. What I'm going to do is add some oil spillage in the floor of it. What I'm going to be using is MIG Production oils. A little bit of dark rust mixed in with the shadow brown. I've added a little bit of thinner to it. Want it kind of thick. Just want to put some dots here and there where the motor was. Of course you'd get some oil spillage, leaky gaskets and whatnot. Just place it randomly. Of course you can make a nice big spill. You can also add some over here where the transmission sat. Around that drainage hole there. And you can always load some up on your brush and just tap it down in there. Okay, we'll let that dry and then we'll add some more of that, but thinned a lot more. Okay, that's already dried. What I've done is I've taken some of that mixture, thinned it down a lot. You can add a little drop or two of some clear gloss just to give it some shine like I did, or you can use wet effects from different manufacturers, whatever you prefer. I still do it the old way. I don't use the wet effects yet, but I'm sure I'll eventually start using it. What I'm doing now is I'm just taking that very thin mixture there, and I want to stain around those oil stains. It'll dry pretty much clear, but it'll still stain the area. Basically what you're replicating is, oil spillage, and then when you get water in there, from rain or whatnot, or crossing a river, it'll thin that oil out, spread it, stain everything. Just going to add a couple more drops of the thicker mixture right back there where the transfer case was. I'm pretty sure that would have leaked. One of the things you can do is, before this thoroughly dries, you can apply some pigments, a dust color, and stipple it on there. Just like in reality, whatever dust got in the motor compartment would have stuck to that oil. Okay, you just want to do some staining there. Looks about right. I've already done my T69, and you can see what it looks like. The oil stains with some dust stuck to it. Alright, you can let that dry, or like I said, you can add some dust to it. I've already mixed up a little bit of dust. What we'll do is we'll just add that to it. We'll get an old brush, pick up some of the pigments, just drop it in there. Of course you can do the whole bay. Just going to show you what it looks like on the oil. And that helps it dry a lot too. Go ahead and just add a bunch in there. Dust it up. You can remove the excess. Whatever does come off, you can just add some more in there. Just keep mixing it all up. You would, in real life, get some oil on top of the dust and oil mix already. It would start thickening up. That's what you want. You want that texture, some dimension to it. You want it to look like it's been used. Well, that's it. We got it all painted, weathered, and all we have to do is place it in a Tamiya kit hull. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was helpful. Just kind of gives you a little idea of how I go about painting my wrecks and, well, basically almost every model. Got a lot of other little tricks up my sleeve for doing some of the rusted up stuff, but I'll show that in other videos in the near future. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you buy one and give it a shot. Thank you. Goodbye.